What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another carnivorous episode of the Center Beacon. This week's episode covers test server 2.6.1, and I hope everyone is strapped in. Don't strap on, that's something else. We won't get into that on this episode. I hope everyone is strapped in because they dumped a lot into this test server. Far more than what is shown on this paltry slate they created, where it's just kind of like, oh, new robot prototype, new weapons, map changes. So here I put up the details, as many as I could, without like making this just like a wall of text. They changed the prototype robot, the new one, the dash robot, whatever you guys want to call it, the really fast one everybody complained about. Cooldown increased by 1 second. Can no longer equip ECU shields. I think it's fair, so I wouldn't want to see it reduced any further in capability because then I don't think it would be worth running. They have introduced 3 new weapon prototypes. They all do the same thing. This is weird. I'll complain and just rant on these when you watch the video of them. I'm not really sure what was going on there. Somebody got into the liquor cabinet at Pixo HQ, I think, because these were a bit strange. Map rebalance. So this is actually really good, really well done. They changed some spawn points on Shenzhen and Springfield. And Yamantau had some changes as well to some features of the map, and we'll cover that when I show you the clips in depth. And new skins. So we've got a new skin for the Galahad and the Gareth. They're awesome. And we'll show those later on in the video. So make sure you watch all the way through for that. And then they just like snuck in the league system. Like, thanks Pixo. No heads up, nothing in the details, nothing in the email. They just dropped this sucker in there. And I was like, okay, time for 2 videos. A bit much to cover in one video. So this is going to cover everything you see on the screen down to the league system. I have another video that I'll post in the next day or two that will go into the details of the league system, the leg system. I don't know, maybe, again, that's another video. The league system details, how I see it, how I understand it, and some more information on basically how a rating system kind of functions, because I know that's kind of a mystery out there for some people. So for this video that covers the aforementioned topics, we're going to take a quick look at the new prototype weapons. This is the light prototype 1. You can see they're all going to do the same damage, the same range, and have the same reload time. Projectile speed, and this will make sense if you haven't played on test or you haven't seen any other videos. This will make sense once you see the clips. You can see as the prototype weapons change from light 1, 2, and 3, the velocity of the weapon itself changes. And you're going to see here in a second, okay, it's flying gumballs off towards my enemy. Now, these are supposedly the fastest of the 3. I think these are the light 3s I had equipped on here. And I don't understand what I'm doing. I'm getting annihilated by a traditional, Terran plasma griff, and my little like lightning balls or whatever they are, they don't really seem to be doing a whole lot for me. So here I go with a little bit of a hybrid concept. You can see the right shoulder lightning ball explodes on my griffin and goes nowhere, does nothing, which seems to be suffering from the same mechanic as the aphids on live. So you can see there that other one I shot finally went to the corner of that building, hit the corner, and exploded. They only last 15 seconds, by the way. So if it doesn't hit something, you don't get any damage out of it. These were, I think, the light ones. These yellow ones here were like the light 1s. The red ones are like the light 3s, and I think there's like a green or something. Or no, these are the mediums. The yellow ones are the light 2s or what have you. They all do the same damage, same reload. But they supposedly travel at different velocities. I just I'm eating aphids, I'm getting shot by other things, and my lightning balls are still, I think they're going to sink down and drop on those guys here in a second. But unless you were like point blank on top of somebody, I really didn't care for these things in the slightest. You can outrun them in your bot, so I end up getting close enough to the guy to kill him. before the lightning ball, like the lightning ball is still behind me, and I'm like, hey, lightning ball, like catch up and do your job. I don't really understand what's going on there. They break on cover, so you kind of got to fire it like an aphid. And if you don't, you can see there, like you just send it into the corner of the building, it does doodly squat. You can see I got hit by one there, did a little bit of damage. In their current form, I cannot see anyone in their right mind using this. Did not care for this at all. And again, I don't really know what... I guess Pixo was going for like just a unique concept here for weapons. The bubble pulse weapons, you know, from whatever that was a couple weekends ago, that's one thing, you know. But this is too wonky. I think for these things to be viable, they would need to go way faster. And probably, I don't even know, like hit harder. Because with only a 15-second shelf life, it's not... everything can outrun it. You can see I fire one there and promptly outrun it. These are I believe these are the light ones. These are supposedly like the slowest ones or something, at least according to the details. Didn't like any of this. And again, in a couple clips later on in this video, you'll see where I actually like managed to hit some people with them, but I was right on top of them. You can see that thing, see how it chased him around the corner there? It kind of came back the other way, but then it caught the corner of that building in the alley there and just exploded. So, yeah, these were ridiculous. I did not care for these at all. I've been willing to give everything up until now a chance, but these are... there would need to be some sort of drastic improvement to the way this thing functions, and I worry that if you really did improve this thing, being as that it locks on, if you made it like too fast or more powerful or what have you, I am afraid that it would probably be too good. But again, I'm not real crazy about this. So, just going to let you watch these clips here. You know, there they go. I've moved off to the right. They're kind of honing in on that guy. Maybe these ones, did I get these ones to land? But of course, he's in a really fast bot. So anything with any kind of speed, you can see I actually have another pair in the air there after the reload. And those hit the corner of the building, did not do a lot for me. Yeah, so I cannot imagine equipping these over pretty much anything at all. I would rather do like an ECU shield. I would rather do Noricums. I don't think I've ever seen Noricums on a Galahad. I think that would be probably pretty epic. I think that should be an entire video series unto itself. And you would get way more kills and damage than you will with these little floating gumballs that don't seem to want to do a whole lot. So I think they were just trying to get outside the box on this thing. I don't know. Like maybe it was an intern that came up with this idea. You know, maybe they had like a little apprenticeship going on there, like at headquarters. And, you know, somebody came up with an idea and they let the kid run with it, and it just got like too far down the pipeline or something. So I don't see us seeing this one again anytime soon. I didn't really hear about anybody that I talked to liking these whatsoever. So I'm going to torture you with like one more clip of this. And, you know, you can see I'm killing this guy with like a traditional effective weapon before the little gumball doodads even ever have a prayer of getting there. So if they do this on another test server, I could see these things getting a lot faster. Again, in order to be applicable at all. But then I feel like it'll probably, like, what's the difference between like then this and say like an aphid or something? It's kind of the same thing. You know, except that, you know, aphids don't really, you know, they don't track. They kind of go where you shot them, you know, for the most part. This thing will kind of turn a little bit. This guy is actually, I think, going to get hit by this thing. And this is what everybody I talked to, you know, this was the only application. If you have a big, fat, slow bot incredibly close to you, you might have a prayer of landing these things on him. Kind of like this guy. This guy's just kind of chilling. You know, he's got his dream bot out there. The maxed Raijin with the Zeuses. And he's just kind of like, hey, come and take me on, bro. You know, come and get some of this. And then there go my lightning balls. So wait for the lightning balls to hit him. Let's see. Go ahead, lightning balls. Go ahead and hit them. I mean, I think I got them. Yeah, there, a kill. It's verified. It does kill. They are lethal. But it's kind of silly. I just, not liking this. I just, I mean, we could have gone anywhere, done anything with this. I don't know. Maybe a weapon that just like insults people. Call into question red team's lineage or something. Something that mocks their peoples. I don't know anything but this. Like, see those gumballs over there? They're just gonna hit that building right there, and they just explode. I mean, it wasn't even like a good track. Like, I shot them over there. The guys over to the right, the gumballs went to the left, and just blew up on the building. How about this? Off the top of my head, you shoot these things, they poop out on the ground, and then if a red bot runs over it like sticks to them and it slows them down for a period of time. I don't know. I feel like I could throw darts at the wall and come up with something infinitely more fun and useful than this thing. Let's see. Those balls are going. Watch my balls. Oh no, we're leaving this clip. I can't torch you guys anymore. I got to cut this off. This is just this got ridiculous. Let's talk about some stuff that's actually cool. Let's talk about the new rebalanced prototype dash bot. So they reduced the cooldown by 1 second. Geez, I'm headed the wrong direction here. I better check my notes. Notes? This is my notes right here. Notes, what do you say? They increased the cooldown by 1 second. I wanted them to decrease it because I loved this bot. So they made it so you can't just keep nailing the little leap button there every 5 seconds or so. But as you can see, the 1 second difference, it's small, but I guess a good change. You can't quite leap almost like every time in the last version of this robot. You could pretty much do that little leap. At the end of the first one, you'd be ready to do another one, and it was almost continuous, like leaping. So they added a second to the cooldown. Okay, no big deal. I can live with it. I know a lot of people were complaining, as usual. And then the other thing they did, they made it so you cannot equip the ECU shields on this thing. So y'all who were panicking on the Facebooks and the social medias and whatnot, don't sweat this thing being like the ultimate beacon-getting machine and just, swarms of these things flying everywhere, capturing beacons like nobody's business. You can't do the shields on them. So they're squishy. It's only 150,000 hit points. Yeah, it mounts 2 mediums, which I think is pretty cool. I was writing up the feedback for this, because I actually had time to do it this time for Pixo, and this thing reminds me of like a super Cossack. Like the Cossack, everybody's like, oh, it's not viable in max level play. Well, it's a tiny little super cheap bot that, is kind of like I see it as like the starter tier. You use that when your account's like level 5 or whatever. This is your max level Cossack beacon getter. This is the Cossack's big brother. This is the Cossack, on steroids. He's taking a healthy dose of like Cossack testosterone or something here, and so I still found this thing to be very playable. And with the ECU shields, when I was running those on the other weekend's test server, you get into scenarios where it's like, I kind of really wish I had a gun right now. So they're kind of almost like taking that scenario, out of the mix, and now you'll always be able to shoot something. And you can still effectively use the leaping ability both offensively and defensively. The only other thing I noticed with this guy was, I don't know, they didn't say it, but of course they put a lot of crap in this test server they didn't talk about. I felt like maybe the leap doesn't quite go as far as it did. I felt like it was almost a little shorter. And it could just be a couple of meters, or I could be imagining it. Like sometimes I see things that aren't there. But again, another video. Up there, I was just checking to see the height of this bot. It's always kind of good to see, what can you get over top of and shoot and use as like cover that'll kind of mask most of your bots, like torso, legs, what have you. One of these guns, is a little higher than the other, which I don't mind. I think it's kind of cool looking, and but you can see you can kind of shoot over the little feet of whatever that little tower thing is, which was kind of neat. But I mean, as you can see in this clip, this is one bot, one clip, and granted, again, test server, so noob sauce. It's not like there are expert deadly players on here usually. But I kind of just, I ran around with this thing until I got bored and was like, hey, I got a lot of other stuff to cover, so I better go ahead and put this guy back in the shed and do something else. But I really like this guy's mobility. We're going to do one more clip here, and just to kind of show you, I threw in the power plant map because it looks like they switched it back to daytime. So I guess, Pixo, they paid the power bill, and the lights are coming back on for power plant. I kind of liked the dark maps. They did I think it was after the Halloween event, they turned a lot of them where it was like nighttime. And I think you could mix it up too. If they wanted to run, if it were possible, maybe it's not. But if they wanted to run, hey, sometimes it comes up daytime, sometimes it comes up nighttime. For nighttime maps, I really wish they would do something where, like, you almost had, like, a night vision mode or, like, a thermal imaging mode or something. I think it would be cool to actually be able to use the cover of darkness to your advantage. But it's really just more for aesthetics at this point. But, again, this clip just kind of demonstrating how quickly this guy can get around. 2 Terrans is nothing to sneeze at. Orkans are great on this thing, too. I think on this test server, I ran the Terrans just for whatever reason. But Orkans are really nice on this one as well, and if you want to see more of that, maybe I'll put like a clicky link thing in the video deal when I upload it, and you can click back to the test server video that I did that covers this guy in depth quite a bit. So here's going to be a little duel. We're going to finish this clip with a little duel action. We got Orkans versus Terrans. And this guy was he was after me here. We're losing pretty bad, and I'm just kind of using the bot's ability to jump around and kind of launch himself in different directions. And I think he ended up taking me out, but I actually got like a pretty good chunk of him. So now we're gonna move on. Again, we gotta move rapidly here, folks. We're talking about the altered spawn points on these maps. This is going to look at the altered spawns for Shenzhen. So if you've listened to me gripe and groan in previous videos, there are actually there's a good spawn and a bad spawn on Shenzhen. And they were previously kind of in the kitty corner, like where that red guy is down there. If you follow that road all the way back, that was one spawn, and then to the left, in the back left corner of where I spawned, was the other spawn, and was usually considered the preferable spawn. And I've explained that in I think maybe in a previous video, but it has to do with cover and access to the center, and one team can kind of get there a little easier and faster than the other. So they decided to tackle this by balancing the spawn points to where you just spawn right across from each other, which I thought was pretty even, pretty fair. My only criticism really of that was to perhaps back off each spawn point a little bit further from the central square area, simply so you're not immediately, because you can spawn right in the middle of that open intersection, like right there. And like I spawned off to the left a little bit, but you can actually spawn kind of right where he is now, and you see I just ate treads in the face. So now, granted, it was low power. If that guy just dropped, then he doesn't have time to get a full charge at match start. But if he's already sitting there, you could kind of eat trebs or something kind of right upside the head just to start out. What am I doing? I'm just looking around at the map. And I was going to mention this later, but I guess I might as well mention it now. I felt like the graphics got an upgrade. I felt like the bots and maps looked a little crisper. Again, I could be imagining this. So let me know what you thought if you played test server on your various device. Did the graphics look any crisper, cleaner, sharper? Something. It looked like it went to more of a high resolution or something. These clips I'm just walking you through real quick where you're spawning. You can see the various, the perimeter of that spawn point. I'm on the far left perimeter, and that's all these clips are doing. is just kind of showing you where they placed them. Here's another one kind of in that same exact spot. This is the opposite side to the couple clips previous, so you can see both spawn points on this map. And I liked it. Both are equidistant to the middle. Here I've done a little fancy, the graphics department, not me, haha, I don't do these. The art department for Center Beacon had these produced, and you can just kind of see there with the stars designating the new spawn points. Those were the only spawn points I got when I played these. I don't know if they included any others. I don't think so. But you can kind of see what I was talking about. If you push them back just a little bit, like if the red star went north a little bit and the blue star went south a little bit, I think that would be a little bit better. And I wouldn't have it so anybody spawns right in the open there. I'd have them all off to the sides. So moving on to the next spawn point video, you can see the two here. It's real simple on Springfield. One was dam, and one is the traditional one in the creek bed. And again, on Springfield, I did not receive any other spawn points than these two that you see in the map there. So the red star, we've had that one for some time. The blue one, we used to spawn on top of the actual dam, which was a slight advantage. So they brought you down into the riverbed. The farm spawn was removed to the north there, that little collection of things there where the barn is and all that, and that beacon. I believe that one's been removed. And I think there still are other spawn locations on this map, perhaps in the city and then maybe across somewhere, but I didn't get them, so I'm not sure. If you know for sure, go ahead and drop a comment. So now to kind of get towards the end of this thing, this is slightly a longer video, so if you don't have a 24-minute attention span, I hope I'm not boring you to tears here. New skins for the Galahad and the Gareth, which is what we're looking at here, and they have skulls on them. And if you know my clan, which I try not to shamelessly plug too much, but 1000skulls.com, I thought these were great. Obviously, they've got skulls on them. Duh. Keep doing that. The more skulls, the better. You can see there's a little skull there on his little nether region, and there's one on the shield. There's one on his back, so pretty cool. This one I liked even better. I thought this was pretty cool. It's a skull wearing a helmet with feathers coming out of the top. I mean, there's no beating that. I mean, so I gotta have both of these, even though I don't own a Gareth. I do want to get one, but I don't actually have one. But I do have a Galahad, and I would like that. You can see on this one, the art, it bleeds through to the inside of the shield. I believe that's probably a mistake. Sometimes that happens. If you guys have ever done any 3D modeling and skinning, that can happen. I believe they can turn that off. But I thought this one was cool, man. I liked the red. The color scheme was cool. The decals were really cool. So I cannot wait for those to land, and I'll be shamelessly purchasing those. So my bots will be unique, because everybody will have that. But yeah, that is going to do it for this video. That is hopefully giving you guys a pretty quality look at that set of changes. Now, again, I'm not covering the league system that they included in this video because I made a separate video for that. And right after I get done with this one, I'm going to do the audio for that one too and talk you through it. And I'm going to upload that one in the next couple days as well. And that will focus solely on the league system because this is a pretty huge change. This is probably one of the biggest changes they have coming, that we've seen in quite some time. So please look for that video, and I'll have a little clicky thing for that as well. And that's it for this one. And as always, I will see you next time at the Center Beacon.